Good morning, VN! No, wrong thing. Hello and welcome back to day 13 of the ensuite bathroom build. Again, if you've not seen where we're up to, there is, well, ironically, 12 other days to watch previous this week, because exactly how I've got to this stage. But we'll do a quick turnaround. Look at that, what a lovely dust sheet. It's one of the clients' one, she's using it, but I'm going to borrow it for a minute. Doorway, lovely. Flooring down, raised length ready for the bath to go in. That is not a unit there, that goes on the front of that. But I've just been putting this protective floor down. You can see the floor's built over there, blah, 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 blah. Very nice, massive, huge unit. It's glorious. Now, today is a good day. So today is shower tray day. But before I put the shower tray in and get it fitted, I'm going to just prime the wall where it's already been tiled. So basically, we're going to tile across here, up here, going to return it into that little zone there, which is going to meet up to the wood, which is then going to get painted. We're going to have tiles down the bottom across here as a splashback for the sink unit. All this bit's going to get tiled across here, up to this wall, and that'll be painted. Now, before you tile, very important, quite useful, prepare your walls, okay? Some people just like put adhesive straight on the wall. Fine, cool, crack on. But for the sake of not much money, stick on a bit of this, right? Flexible primer, set to the now. So I'm going to put it on now. So then while I'm pissing and farting around, putting the tray in, leveling it off, doing what I need to do, that'll be dry. So if I do get a chance to do a bit of tiling today, the walls are ready to rock and roll. The thing you must not do, and I see a lot of people doing this as well, is do not PVA your bloody walls before you tile them, okay? So this stuff is specifically designed to work with cement-based adhesives, okay? The problem with putting PVA on the wall is that, yeah, it's great, it's a great sealer, don't get me wrong, PVA is like a genius invention, it does so much cool stuff. But what happens is if you PVA these walls and then you put that cement-based adhesive onto it, where the adhesive is wet, it reactivates the PVA, because at the end of the day it's water-based and therefore it ends up being less malleable. It doesn't get a good suction, doesn't get a good adherence. Whereas this stuff is designed to actually prime the wall so that when the cement stuff goes onto it, it sits on it, it then grips to it and actually creates a better bond. So yeah, either, to be fair, I'd rather just tile it than put PVA on it at all, than doing anything, but then just do it professionally, stick this stuff on, prime it, then do the tiling, and then you are golden, my friend. Job done. So yeah, I'm gonna get a primer on now, stick it on, get it done, and then I can start getting the tray upstairs, which would be good fun, because this bugger is 1600 by 800, and is stone resin acrylic cap, so it's gonna weigh an absolute ton. So, but luckily I'm built, so I can easily get it done. Although I will be complaining about bad later, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we now have the feet and leg kits is here, ready to rock and roll. We have shower tray now upstairs. Thank you, Morgan, for helping lift it, because it weighs a freaking ton. So you guys, 1700 by 800, beautiful tray. Now, this particular manufacturer wants it set on an 18mm Ply base with sand and cement, so basically mortared in as well. So I had to quickly nip out to Wickes to pick that up. I need to cut that to fit this, minus 600mm off the exposed edges. So basically, where it's floating in the middle of the room and return. A Blue Peter-esque, here's one I prepared earlier. Kill, I know. So there we go, so this is the one cut, like I say, 600mm shorter in two directions. When I cut it, I've marked here, so these look like V's, 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 V's. So I know that that is the original board edge, so it's going to be perfect and square. That is my cut edge along with the one at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, I took the measurement obviously from this edge, because it's the wall edge, to here, because don't forget, this the ply is now like 60mm shorter, so I had to make sure when I measured from there to there, I didn't measure from that side, I didn't get the cut wrong, but if I measure from that edge to there, then I put this hole over this way, which would be in the right place. So, took the measurement from left to centre, top to centre, left to centre, top to centre. I know that that waist hole's in the right place, so I can now kind of get the legs on this, get it roughly in position, get it levelled, and then see how I get on. But I'm going to put the phone down because I can't leave both my hands for doing this bit. It's good fun. So, what I've done to start with is, you can see, 4 legs on. Only 4, Steve, that's not enough. I know, right? It's weird. But what I've done is, I've drawn a line from one end to the other, 3 of those, because there'll be 4 legs on each one, 12 in total, all the way through. What I'm doing is, and what I always do is, I put 4 legs on only to start with. What I now do is drop it down, level it off, because this floor is pierced, so I know it's going to need adjustment. So level these ones, so the board is going to be perfectly level for everything. And then all I need to do is stick the other sort of 2 legs on each run, and then I'll just put the level on what I now know is the correct level across those two lines and just undo the feet until it's touching the level. That way, I know that it's all done. And what it does is it saves the guesswork out. It also trying to put your bloody arm underneath it and trying to do that. I mean, sometimes you've got to do adjustments and stuff, that's fine. But it kind of just means that you're hitting the jackpot pretty much straight off the bat, and then you can just do minor adjustments as you need to. But that's going to make my life a bit easier. And as you know, I like making my life easy because I'm just that way inclined. So I'm going to drop this, level it, pick it back up, stick the other legs on, put the level on, undo the feet to make sure they're all touching, put it back down, double check it, and adjust it as needed on the fly. So it's in. I've got it level with those 4 legs. Very important. It's not just like the back edge you need to measure from there to there or from there to there. It's the diagonal as well, right? So you just put it across, figure out what it's doing, and then you can see, beautiful. And now if I put it on these levels, beautiful. And if I twist it over that way, beautiful. So I now know that I'm happy that all 4 of those are perfect and gorgeous. So what I'll do is, you can just see, underneath here is a locking nut. I'll just twiddle that down, boom, that is now locked off in place. Same for that one. Twiddly, twiddly, twiddly. And I'll do the same for the other 2 once I get it up, and then I can put all the other feet on, get them levelled off to those ones. As soon as it touches the bottom of the level, now I'm good to go. Now, the only thing that will need fine adjustment possibly where obviously you've got a board, it's going to have some slight sag in it, so give or take. There's bits and pieces as the floor undulates. That's where now I know the finer adjustments will be, but at least I'm kind of halfway there, right? Which is good. So, all done. All the nuts done up as well to keep them locked in place. And now, I stand on it. It is solid throughout. Yes, look at it, look at it, look at it. Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now, the next part is to knock up some sand and cement, make a bit of a mortar mix, not too dry, not too wet, remember, to put on there. So it's around about 8-ish mil, and then it'll be grabbing a tray, splatting it onto that, double checking the levels as it kind of needs it, but we know that's level. As long as the bead that you put on is basically level as well, like 8 mil, give or take all the way through, then, it's not rocket science, is it? Splat it on, away you go in a mixer, that can set, happy days. Oh yeah, love it. Right, so obviously we are where we are. I've just taped up the electrical joints in there, and I've just covered that over with some lovely black tape. And this stuff is like proper hardcore gear, this stuff. I love it. So there's about 6 different layers across there going in different directions. So I have some layering up that way, some layering down that way, just to make sure. Other thing I've done is I've now cut this out, so I've got access for the pipe work, because I still need some flexibility to make the connection to the bottom of the tray, because don't forget we're going to be raising it up by about sort of 8-10 mil, so I just need that little bit of movement, which would be lovely. I've still got movement vertically in there as well, so I can bring that up and do what I need to do, which is a lovely jubbly. Tray's there. Now, here's one of those random things. So it's a big tray, it weighs a lot. So the question is, well, how do you lay it down on your mortar on your Jack Jones? And it's very simple. Well, saying that, it's simple because I have access to this little section here. If it was like in a recess and I built a stud wall out, slightly more complicated, but not the end of the world. What you do is, you got that here, you got your height of this base, which is lovely. So all I need to do is grab an off cut of wood or 2 pieces to bring this level up higher than here. And then once I've kind of got this and the mortar's on, I just grab this, tilt it, lie it down, and it will begin to pick up and sit on this bit of wood which is higher. And I can just free floatingly grab it through the waist hole, drag it where I want to, and then just lay it down gently into the space. But I'll show you me doing that, it's just a heads up. The other thing I want to do, because like following the full manufacturer's instructions, which I highly recommend you constantly follow, I haven't actually connected the waist. So where, if you go back like to video 2, 3, whichever one it was, obviously that's all there, it's all under here, ready for bath, and then it goes out the wall in that direction. So what I'm going to quickly do as well is, I'm going to knock my mortar up, get this bad boy bedded in, then I'm going to run around and connect, sorry, wrong way. My head this way. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go outside into the little space I've got up there, and I'll show you, and I'm going to make the connection from the exterior, because it's just poking out the wall a second, make the connection to the actual waste outlet into the drain. Then I can test this, just dry fit it, test it, make sure it's okay. Once I'm happy with that, then I'll mortar the tray in. Job is good, and that's my job done and dusted there, so then that's ready for the bath and everything else. So that's my plan. So I'm going to leave this here now, happy that's all connected, and I'm going to go outside and do that bit. And here I am, in the deepest, darkest top of, well, the garage actually. So it goes there. There's lovely leaves here. Nice little cavity, which has been working out really nicely, because you can see that drops off That's the downstairs toilet just there. And here we have my pipe coming freely out of the wall. So what I'm gonna do is, solve well, beautiful, cut the pipe, 290, so I've gone for the swoop bends. Always use swoop where you can, they just allow the flow of water a bit better. I mean, obviously normal 90s are all right, but you know, water can then course through it and come out a bit happier. Plus you can almost hear it going, whee, as it goes around the corner. So that's gonna come across there like so. I'll then cut a piece of this lovely pipe to bring it out to about sort of yearish, and then it will return down to there. So it's gonna head in that direction. And then just over there, as you can see, if I just get past, just here is the place I'll be connecting to. So then that goes down there. Down here in the wall, you can see that's the downstairs basin, that's the word, basin connection that tees into it as well. So I'll bring it across, down, and tee it in. Although slightly annoyingly, it turns out I need 235 degrees, and I thought I picked them up and I haven't. And I think they're on the back of the van, but unfortunately I haven't got a van here today. I've got a car. So it's like, bugger it, never mind. But what I will do in the temporary meantime is bring it out, across, and down, and I'll just put a bucket underneath it so I can still do my test, make sure everything's all right, because the final connection, once it's in here, piece of cake. So, right, I'm gonna get cutting and welding. There you go, 5 minutes work, and it's now done. Boom, 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 straight down there, straight into my space. I'm now done at this section, except for like nipping me up here just to make sure everything's okay. But apart from that, bloody happy day, so I'm getting down. So now I'm back up. I mean, for you, it's just like instantaneous, isn't it? But me, I have to climb stairs and do things. But here we are, back in here again. So there you go. There's my little carrier field. You can see it's just a tiny bit taller. That's what it needs to be. What I've also done is I've just built out some old bits of wood. What I've done is, well, is you put a bit in the centre. So, because if I just left that sort of standing freestyle and I kind of drag this bad boy onto it, it will just slip and just do stuff. But with that there, as the shower tray comes over and pulls it in that direction, it naturally locks itself up against that. Because the other thing as well is that obviously my shower tray is 6 centimetres longer than this, so that then accounts for that. So you'll just flat, drag it off and boom, straight on. Beautiful. So I'm gonna knock up some sand and cement, and then I'll get this bad boy actually mortared into the placement. Brilliant. Did it? Yeah, I had to knock it up by hand, which is fine. But there you go. 5 parts sand, 1 part cement, because that's what the manufacturers requested, so that's it done. Lovely little consistency, still holds its shape, but malleable, does what it needs to do. Happy days. All I'm going to do now is basically spread this across there, get it kind of roughly level, so sort of about 8mm, 10mm thickness across the whole thing, and then I'll drag that bad boy onto it. But I'll time lapse it because I know you're desperate to see it. So you go, now you can see, lovely and covered, nice and even. You saw I just do the level, just run it across it so you cut it through it to get a nice even spread as you kind of go. Job is good, so now lay it on it, good to go. He says, we'll find out in a second. Worked, look at it, beautiful. Easy peasy, and you just notice I just have to run a quick bead of sealant around the side so when this shale or tray then impacts and hits the wall, it's sealant in, but beautiful. So what I'll do now is run out, double check the level. If I still need to, I've still got the adjustment, I can adjust the feet if necessary, but that should be it. Bloody perfect. Happy days, and chuff that's done. Job and a half, and I tell you what, that ain't going nowhere. Right, it's been a minute. Tray's in, obviously. Tiles are not going on the shower tray, no, these are just like, give me some level. So, working it all out. This is where tiling, you don't just start tiling and you kind of end up like stupid little cuts everywhere. You do a bit of mathematics, which at this time of the afternoon, on a Friday, is challenging. I still manage it. My thinking is, we have a row of tiles, individual, which you're going to run here across the back where the sink is going to go. So instead of just tackling this and tiling it and working these levels out off the shower tray to the ceiling line, I would really like it if these tiles here run smoothly and seamlessly all the way through. I just think visually it's going to look better. So when I calculated that and marked up and worked it all out, that would mean though, having this amount, a small cut, about 30mm from the bottom of the tray. And sometimes they're the kind of ones you want to avoid. You're trying to make sure you get like a half decent sized cut, which I could do if I didn't take that tile into account. I could make sure there's like at least 10 centimetres and I think it's 20 centimetres at the top, which would be beautiful. But I spoke with a client and we both agree that actually having that one running through the centre all the way through, it's just going to look neater, it's going to look more complete, more finished. So it doesn't matter, it's going to be a 30mm cut now at the bottom, which is fine and dandy, it's not a problem for leaking or anything like that. I'm not prone to leaking, it'll still be grouted, it'll be cemented in, done and dusted. And because it's at the bottom, you're not really going to see it. Whereas when you kind of walk into the space, you won't see it because there's nothing to see, because it's going to run beautifully. Whereas if there's a half cut tile or something, you might kind of go, oh, that's a shame, like for that little bit extra, they could have put a full tile in. So plan it, think it, visualise it, and if you're doing it for yourself, do what you want to do. If not, chat with your client, see what they want to do, and that's it. Plan and decision made. So normally I have batten, which I'll put across the bottom, but again, don't have the van, which has the batten on. So 4 tiles make up my 30mm quite merrily. So I'm going to just start basically getting a couple of lines up there before I shoot off this afternoon. So that's quite good. So for those of you who don't do tile or would like to know how to do it, basically instant grab is what you're after. So for ceramic wall tiles, done and dusted, always make sure you get the right adhesive for the type of tile you got. That will not do porcelain or natural stone. That's why it says for ceramic wall tiles. So always make sure you get the right stuff. You semi-prime the wall is primed, ready to rock and roll, so I'm ready. I've got the tile cutter downstairs, which I'll go get, and then yeah, I'll start greasing some walls and putting some tiles on. Those exciting days. So, I've got my bits and pieces ready to rock and roll. So, I said the adhesive is there. My trowel is here, ready to put it on. Lovely, see the ridges, that's what creates a nice space for it to go into the wall, and then you can kind of push it in, which is lovely. Just put this level mark on it. I just did it. And so how can I demonstrate just how nice and how good and grippy this stuff is to like hold the tiles and help grip? Well, I knew that would happen. But it does, honestly. I had it on there for a minute and it just stayed there. Which is not exactly bad, is it? So you can see like the adhesive like sticks to this like nobody's business. Easy peasy. I like it when stuff like that happens because now you can have a laugh at it. So now what I'm going to do is I've marked a 600 mark there because I see these tiles are 300 tall. So I'm going to grease up the first 2 layers. I'll mark that line. I'll grease the wall up, or you put the adhesive on it if you want to just talk like that. And I'll just drop that line about there. So once I kind of put the adhesive on, I'll just drop it below it and then get these 2 layers on. I'll show you in a second. There you go. First 2 on. It looks very nice, doesn't it? Oh, it does look nice. Now, the reason I do it in sections, say 2, maybe 3 tiles tall, is because when you run 2 lines and you haven't greased the wall completely, so if there's loads of like adhesive over the wall, it's a pain in the arse doing this, but I can get the level, put it on, and I can make sure, if I could just get my angle with a dangle, that is absolutely spot on level. And what you always find is, look, why is there cardboard in there? Because tiles are always very slightly different sizes and just kind of, yeah, weirdness. You think they'll all be perfect, but that is not the reality of it. So what you do is, you then just, because you get level on it, you know if you need to pick them up, adjust them, and because you're doing the adjustments across the course of 2 tiles, instead of just like doing a whole whack when you go, oh fuck me, it's really running out at the top and the bottom, like, why are they not meeting up? Correct the spacing as you go, because if that gap here is a bit bigger than this one on this side, it makes no difference, because once it's grouted, you'll never see it. But you know that your levels are running perfectly, you know that it's going to do exactly what it's doing, just to show you my working out, just to prove that I can do it. Obviously this is going to be the worktop, look at that. So the next tile that comes off the worktop will be the one that runs there. This is going to have a little space underneath it. This gives you a teeny gap, and then that's where the tile will come up on this unit across the shelf, and it's going to run all the way through. So that's very nice. It's nice to do this bit of mathematics now. It makes life a lot easier, and nothing beats actually seeing it and going, I did do it correctly. I mean, I knew I'd done it correctly, but it's nothing quite like seeing it, and then you know, you know? I know. Right, so I'm going to grease up the next one, and on this edge here, you're like, what's he going to do to finish that? Well, easy, it's going to be a metal trim, but I can't be bothered, because I'm not going to finish this whole thing today. I'll just literally, I've not greased at the very end, I'll just slide it in, job done, easy peasy. I do it all the time. And yeah, perfect. So I'll crack on, get the next one on. That's it, good. Where's the stop button? Oh, it's hiding. Happy, happy, happy. So there you go. There's what I've got to for the day. Not too bad. And this is obviously the worst one because you've got a cut around here. Now, how did I do that, I hear you say? How do you get such beautiful cuts and get it so nicely? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So it's not complicated, because a lot of people go, oh, it's going to be a bit weird. You can buy. I mean, I bought this one flipping donkeys years ago. One of these. You're like, what the hell is that? I'll show you. Because you asked. And so nicely as well. There's a tile. you've got your measurements where your pipe's going to go. So say for example you've measured it, it's around about there, and it's around about, sorry, you should put that there, give or take. This is just a bodge one, just to show you roughly. So do a big line like that, and a line like that. So you kind of got your square, so that's where the pipe's going to come through, right? All you do is line the top of that up where it needs to be, suction cup it into place, like that, and then you grab yourself a drill with this diamond little round circular saw bit. Place it into said hole. Make sure you're happy with the alignment by looking down it. Once you're happy, push the bottom run up. So basically this one comes upwards. So just unlip it. That then comes undone. And then, well it would do, except it's not undone. And then clamps onto the bottom of the underneath of there. That keeps it in place. Start spinning it. Zzz. Once it's kind of going, and you kind of down it a couple of mil, I was then just pop this off and then just finish it off manually. It takes next to no time at all, especially on ceramic stuff. If you're doing like porcelain or natural stone or something, it takes ages. And then you have to get another part of the kit which like applies water to it, so it keeps the blade cool as it's cutting, because it takes a minute to get through it. But ceramic, boom, job done. And then there you go, perfect. And these holes are obviously wider than the pipe work coming in, but it makes no difference, because what happened is, once this corner all grouted and I'm ready to put the shower valve on, I will literally silicone around that gap. And then with these particular valves, the fast fixing kit from Aqualida, can't recommend enough. You then get little nuts and bits and pieces that cover it, but that is essentially what goes over and covers that hole. So you can see, much wider than said hole, and then that gets silicone to the wall as well. So no water can ever ingress in there. Job's done. And that is it for me for today. I've had enough. Well, not really, but you know, it's just the time to finish, so that's it, done. I'll finish that quick cup of tea, tidy up, get the dust sheets up, and that's it, I'm ready. But that is not too bad. Tray in, time is started. I mean, the time's got to take ages here, because, you know, I've done that in like 20 minutes. Get the topic done on Monday, tile across there. That'll be all done and dusted, and then I can move on to other things, which will be very exciting, like grouting it, but obviously not until it's dried. But either way, hit the bell, the like, subscribe, all those bits and pieces, drop a comment, love hearing from you, even though I don't get back to you, but you know, I will do eventually, I promise. And yeah, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.